Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Megan from Modern Moon Quilt Studio, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to do something that intimidates a lot of quilters, and that's sewing curves. I'm going to walk you through my favorite way for cutting fabric for curves and how to sew them, so keep watching. Let's start by reviewing all of the tools you're going to need for curves. First is your paper templates. I'm going to be cutting pieces for the Solar Phases quilt pattern from Bookends Quilting. You're going to need a pair of utility scissors, your favorite rotary cutter. I love this 45mm rotary cutter from Olfa. I will link it in the video description below. And you're going to need a small acrylic ruler. This 6-inch square one is perfect for cutting curved pieces. And then of course you're going to need fabric. So let's get started with cutting these semicircles. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do before cutting your templates is confirm that it is printed to scale. And you're going to do that by putting a ruler over this 1-inch square and confirming that it is in fact 1-inch square. If you find that square is smaller or larger than 1 inch, then you're going to need to recalibrate your printer settings and reprint your templates. Now, before cutting our curved pieces with the paper templates, this pattern calls for us to first cut 5-inch wide strips of fabric. And the reason for that is we are going to be using a quarter circle template to cut half circle pieces. Now, let me show you how that works. You're going to take your long strip of fabric and completely unfold it, and just fold over the one edge about 5 to 6 inches to fit the template and create a fold there by just giving it a quick finger press. Now, looking at the template, you're going to see, at least with this pattern, that the one edge has the word fold on it. So that is indicating that the template needs to be line up with the fold of the fabric. Now, this is what's going to make a quarter circle into a half circle. Now, using your rotary cutter and acrylic ruler, line up the edge of the acrylic ruler with the edge of the template and carefully and slowly follow the edge of the template around with the rotary cutter. Now, the reason I like doing it this way is because I have found that that ruler helps hold the fabric and the template in place so it's not shifting around. And it also gives me a nice sturdy guide to follow around with my rotary cutter. And once you get the hang of this method, I found that I'm able to cut curved pieces much more quickly and more accurately using the acrylic ruler. Now, before we start sewing, let's first break down the two pieces. We have our convex piece, which is the yellow piece on the left, and the concave piece, which is the green piece on the right. So to get started sewing, you're going to line them up just like you see them here, with the convex piece on top and the concave piece on the bottom. And you're going to start sewing where those two pieces meet. You'll also notice that I'm not pinning anything in place. Now, as you sew, you're going to just follow the curve of the yellow piece around and tuck the green piece underneath as you go, making sure that you're lining up the edges of the concave and the convex pieces. Now, to start, just sew a few stitches. You're going to stop the sewing machine with the needle in the down position and leaving the yellow piece in place, tuck the green fabric underneath to line up those edges, and sew a few more stitches, stop, and just continue that process as you go. And just go slowly, stop as you need. You don't need to rush this at all, but just focus on following the yellow curve as you sew. So you're not pulling the yellow fabric from left to right. You're leaving the yellow fabric in place and just tucking the green fabric underneath the yellow fabric to line everything up. Anytime you stop, make sure you leave the needle in the down position. That's going to help make sure that everything stays in place. Make any adjustments, lower that presser foot again, and then just continue sewing along, tucking that green fabric underneath as you go. And this is the reason that I don't pin. I found that I have more accuracy when I'm not pinning versus when I pin everything in place. I can't explain why, but this method just works so much better for me. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed this up so you can see how this looks a little bit quicker. There you go. You can see how everything just gets tucked underneath nicely and lined up. And then just continue turning that yellow fabric as you're following the curve around. Now here I'm going to show this one more time just from another angle, but it's the same method, same technique. Now you can see how that green fabric just stretches ever so slightly to match up with the yellow curve. And this is something that you're going to have to get a feel for, get the feel for not overstretching that fabric or understretching the fabric. You want, when you get to the end of these two curves, you want the ends to match up perfectly. You don't want the green fabric to be too long or too short, having to either resew it or do a lot of trimming to compensate. And there you go. You can see we have our two pieces sewn together, and we're going to go ahead and give this a quick press. I like to press my seams away from the convex piece, but you can do that however you prefer or however the pattern calls. And after that's pressed, you can see how that looks even better. We have a nice, smooth, even looking curve. All the ends match up nicely, and it's going to look even better after it gets all trimmed up and ready to get this quilt top piece together. There you go. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and I'm going to go ahead and link all the materials and tools that I used in the notes below as well. Good luck, and thanks for watching.